I added 80k MRR to my group in 6 months, and it was not just through YouTube, but actually through a bunch of other things. And what I realized is we started out with this kind of, I saw this from some guru, he told us like do all of these things, right? And then you will get your first customers. And what I realized looking back is we wasted a lot of time doing a bunch of things that led to literally nothing. So if I would start again, the way to come to 80k MRR or even to 50k MRR would be completely different, and it would actually be very simple. Now I'm recording this in 2025, mid of 2025, so this, if you're watching this in 3 years, maybe it's less relevant, but right now this is how to grow an agency, a consultancy, whatever. This seems to be the way for me. So we started with this, so this was what some guru told us. Obviously, you have some kind of VSL, you have a landing page, and then there's a bunch of ways to reach your dream customers through cold email, Dream 100. I'll explain what that is. YouTube content, LinkedIn, and Twitter organic. So Dream 100 is basically you make a list of your Dream 100 customers, and then you reach out to them and you're like, hey, you're my dream freaking customer. Here's some free work that I did for you, So you have a shit ton of work with this. And we did that. It literally wasted weeks with this, creating free fucking YouTube analyses for these people and all kinds of shit. Okay, and we did it cleverly, right? Like we did all the stuff with like Loom and then personalized, mentioning their name and so on. And part of it was AI automated, but still it takes time and it takes complexity. How many sales did we do with this? Around 0. Okay. And then the recommendation is, you have like your CRM, you email people, you text them, pre-call, post-call, all of these things. You have like sexy sales scripts. And so on, right? And then this was what I drew up, at the beginning of the year for my team. I was like, guys, this is how we're going to do it, So we're going to have lead magnets, we're going to have ads and a low ticket offer, and this is going to help us then sell our high ticket offer. We're going to have cold email and with instantly Twitter, Dream 100, YouTube channel, one-time offers through upsell, so whatever. Like these were the 6 building blocks, right? Lead magnets, ads, these 6 blocks that you see here. And none of it really mattered, okay? If I would go again and try to build an agency from scratch, I would focus on a very few things, okay? So this is literally copy-paste from my notebook, so that's why you see here, those are the top priorities, right? Like execution, produce 2 or 3 cases, which obviously this is the first thing you should do. But then I said we need to find a BD head, we need to like reach out to prospects, build organic YouTube channel, blah, blah, blah. All of this didn't matter. And even worse, like step 0 for us was to figure out whether we should do done with you or done for you, okay? This is like my super ugly hand drawing, but basically this is a plan like, low ticket sales and high ticket sales. And I was drawing up, we're going to have these workshops for $100, and then we're going to have a community for $300 a week. And fucking guess what, people fuck it up. Okay? People fuck it up. If you are building a content agency, let me tell you one thing. Content is much more complicated than you think. People see shorts, YouTube videos, blogs, and they're like, I'll just write that with ChatGPT and bam, that's it. I'll get millions of views. No, like have you ever started a YouTube channel? It's so hard. If you don't know what you're doing, it's so hard, okay? Even for us, like we're building YouTube channels like a freaking factory, and sometimes we have channels that just don't pop off, where it takes us time to gain the traction, and we really need to sit down and analyze what the hell is working and why it's not working. Okay, so like long story short, I can make a separate video on that, done with you and done for you. I'm sure you can make done with you work somehow. For us, it was like no way. We're just going to build this thing for our clients so they don't need to be involved at all, and we can just build success case after success case without having to wait for our client to like move anything or have their own success. Okay, so that's number one. People fuck things up. But then let me tell you what actually had an impact. And let me first tell you what we started doing, okay? So we started doing the following things. YouTube. So is it this? No, it's not this channel. Yeah, so this YouTube channel is this YouTube channel is a channel where sometimes I show my face, and we started including ads for our agency service in this channel, and kind of, advertising our agency service. Then on Twitter, on X, we started posting much more and doing lead magnets there, so kind of comment and retweet, and then you get this freebie. We started doing LinkedIn posts, YouTube Sales Machine, this thing, which is like a low ticket offer. How to create YouTube videos that get many views and generate sales on autopilot. Really cool low ticket offer that we sold for, I think, 47 or 27 bucks. So super cheap. And then the goal was to basically funnel people into our high ticket offers, right? So let's just fill this with lots of people who buy this low ticket offer and then sell them our high ticket offer. So we did that, and obviously like fueled by paid ads, meta ads mostly. And we did with D100, so we made that list of our dream customers, and we did cold email, but that's something we started a bit later. I looked it up here, so that was April 2025 when we started cold email for the first time and really got into it kind of. And so for Twitter at the beginning it was me writing the posts, and then I was like, look, I have 2 other companies to take care of. I can't write every single tweet, even if we schedule them. So we started creating them with AI, which is an absolute disaster. Like, never use ChatGPT for this. Use Claude. It's kind of okay, but still it's like it wasn't really good. It only started working a little bit better when I got involved more again. LinkedIn, same thing. Like, we did LinkedIn posts generated by AI. They sounded kind of fine, but still didn't really work. Did daily like short videos on LinkedIn, because we were like, okay, let's ride the video wave on LinkedIn. Zero, niente. Now, after some time, I started sitting down again once a month and just scheduling how many? 8 to 12 posts per month. So literally just sitting there for 3 hours, thinking about posts, scheduling them, and suddenly, our impressions literally 3x'd, 4x'd, engagement went up, and then it started working. So I'm like, fuck, okay, am I supposed to forever write LinkedIn posts? I don't know. I'll tell you what works in a second, right? But these were the things that we did. YouTube Sales Machine, spent money on these paid ads. Like, literally it felt like every week another ad gets blocked and we need to like record a new ad. We had many ads online there. Obviously we didn't just do one ad, but we had dozens of ads online, but always the best it felt like always the best performing ones get blocked, D100 outreach, cold email. So what actually worked, right? What really made a difference? Fewer things than I thought. I can tell you that every single customer told us that either he knew me like personally, so he literally like a friend or something, or through YouTube or through LinkedIn. I didn't have a single guy telling me he's from Twitter. You know, even though they were, like, we had calls with people from Twitter, but never closed shit. You know, this D100 thing went like nowhere. Cold email, nothing. Like, yeah, we were booking calls, you know, sometimes a lot of calls, but we didn't convert any of these people, like zero conversion. Yeah, and I'm not saying we're perfect, right? We're definitely not disciplined enough yet. Like, for example, our CRM sometimes seems like a freaking catastrophe. Could be much better, could be much more disciplined there. And also, it took us ages to get ops right. Like, I remember the first person handling our script writing, it was a disaster. It took way too long to get a script done. Like, you need to finish a script within a day for a client, right? And it needs to be solid. It needs to be really, really good. But you can't make a client wait like a week for a freaking script. Okay, these people want results immediately. So, long story short, it also took us ages to get ops right? But in the end, what worked was YouTube, LinkedIn, and that's it. That's where the people came from. But now let me tell you how I would approach this if I would go completely from zero. Because I found out YouTube and LinkedIn is actually not enough. You need to add another element. So, how did we get the first 3 sales, or how can you get the first 3 sales? Because obviously the number one goal should always be to have cases. I think everybody knows about that. You need cases in order to sell stuff. That's what works the very best. Now, for us, to be very honest, I'll not tell you, yeah, I started from zero or whatever. No, like, I've been running a freaking production company before that, you know, where we were producing for clients like national television, okay? So I had some kind of authority there, I guess. And so the first couple of clients, and this is my media group with a bunch of companies in there, but the first couple of clients came literally because they just trusted me. They knew me for a long time, okay? So that's how I got my first 3 sales. But for you, if you don't have that, if you're not in this fortunate situation, what you should do is just free work. And when I heard that for the first time, it opened my eyes. I was like, oh, yeah, actually, I could do free work if I wanted to, right? Especially with content agencies. You don't need to rely on freelancers. At the beginning, you can literally do everything yourself and save costs, right? So you can build, let's say you're building YouTube channels for clients like we do. You can build a YouTube channel yourself. Like, you can do editing, you can do script writing, all of these things. But then please don't do D100 outreach. It's so dumb. I don't know why sales gurus keep pushing that. What we did was D10 outreach. So basically what we do is every day we reach out to 10 people on LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever, what works for you. And we tell them, let me tell you, at the beginning, you know, we did outreach like this. Hey, you've been following me for a while. I'm helping 10 people add this, and it's easy to get started for just $300. That was when we were still selling a done with you program. Okay. But at some point we switched, like, it's going to take ages for me to scroll up. So at some point we switched to a model where we send people a message, something like, hey, one of your competitors is really killing it on YouTube. We created a small report for you where we see what's happening in the competitive landscape on YouTube for your particular business. Do you want me to send it over? And most of the people either don't reply or they say, yes, please send it over. Now you just saved yourself hours of work, because if you just do free work and you immediately send it over to people, guess what? A lot of these people will not reply. So you just did a shit ton of work and you got zero ROI on that. So what you want to do is tell people, hey, I did this thing for you for free. Do you want it? People say yes. Now you send it over. Okay, so that's what we call D10 outreach. And then if you then go the extra mile and you're like, look, I really believe in this, I'll like do the service for free. Okay, let me just build a YouTube channel for you. You just need to do this, that, and this. People will be like, okay, let's just freaking do it. You know, let's just do it. And that's how you get your first 3 clients, and that's how you get your first 3 testimonials. Now let me tell you the 80-20 approach to growing your agency business. And this is what I would do if I would start from zero right now, knowing all of the things that I know about how YouTube works, how LinkedIn works, and so on. I think for most of you, what makes sense is to be either on like top of the funnel, right? Top of the funnel, you want to be on YouTube. You want to be on LinkedIn, or you want to be on X. Now, you should just pick two of those. We started with YouTube, and then we started taking LinkedIn more seriously. And those work. That's enough to scale to 100,000 per month. Maybe even beyond that. I don't know. I've never been in this situation, unfortunately. But don't make the mistake of like focusing on all of those plus more. It doesn't make any sense. You will burn out, and what will happen is you will be active on all these channels with mediocre quality. What do you want to have is high quality. So like if you just do 2 channels like this, or you even just do 1 channel, you can do it like a human. You don't need to like rely on crazy AI agent processes, all of this bullshit, that people keep talking about. Just to take 1 channel seriously, do it yourself. Block 1 day in the week, just take it seriously. With LinkedIn, 1 day is more than realistic. Like if you block a whole day for LinkedIn, you have content for every single day on LinkedIn. If you block 1 day for YouTube, depending on how fast you are, it might take you a little bit longer, right? But take one of those seriously. Now, the problem many people do is they go immediately from here, from this thing to monetization. So they sell some kind of product for money, and in your case, I assume it's some kind of agency product, some kind of consulting product, coaching, whatever. And that's incredibly retarded. Now, some people are a little bit more intelligent, right? So they go from here and they do some kind of email marketing. So they put people onto, an email automation. They have some kind of lead magnet that people can download. This works extremely well on YouTube, tell people, hey, like if you want more information about this video, like download my lead magnet in the description below. And then people open the landing page, they download your lead magnet, and they are in your email system. You send them emails and try to convert them into money. But that's like, I would say, tier A kind of sales flow. S tier is different, at least from what I observed. This works for us. Maybe it doesn't work for you. And it works for our clients, and that's the most important thing. And that's weekly emails. Okay? So basically, what you want to do is you want to start the weekly newsletter in your niche. Because if you send people automations, they will be super annoyed at some point. Like, yeah, you can send an automation for 10 days, but at some point I have had enough, and either I buy or I will probably never buy. What happens if you send people from YouTube or LinkedIn onto your weekly email, your cool newsletter, is literally sometimes sales happen after half a year, because this weekly email is not just self-promotion or whatever, it is really valuable and cool. And there are a bunch of competitors whom I am not going to name. They're not direct competitors, but they are doing something in the content marketing space that have extremely cool newsletters. And I love them. And I need to admit, I read every single one of them, And they have different sections, so it's easy to write them. It's like, this is my YouTube advice of the week, This is our case of the week. And then they present like one, let's say, client case, And this is my like industry benchmark of the week. So they present some cool kind of guru that is doing something amazing in their industry, and bam, you have a newsletter. It's not something that takes you days to create. It's something that you can create manually in a few hours a day, and then you have your weekly newsletter. Or if you're clever, you can automate some of these things with AI even. And then from there, you send people to your monetization offer, which is, your agency offer basically. And do all of your CTAs need to lead to the weekly email? No, like some of them should directly lead to the page where people can book a demo or jump on a phone call with you. But this weekly email is what is a real game changer. So that is literally the whole setup, That is the whole setup. Just top of the funnel, choose one, YouTube, LinkedIn, X, or maybe for you it's Instagram or TikTok, I don't know, but I think for most of you it's going to be YouTube or LinkedIn. And obviously YouTube is the most difficult to pull off, just technically, right? But one of these two, and then don't do anything else, right? And then have some kind of retention layer, which in most cases, the best thing will be to have like a weekly email that you send out and that you don't stress about. It's easy to create. And then already your monetization layer, which is your offer basically. And that is it. That's how you go from 0 to 80K guaranteed, unless your offer is really, really shit, in which case you would really need to go back, reevaluate your offer, because I don't see anyone failing out there if they follow this simple approach for a bunch of weeks and months. The only reason I can see them failing is if the offer is really, really bad, or they are not willing to do a little bit of free work at the very beginning. So that's how I scaled Channelcraft, and that's how I intend to scale other agencies in the future. And that's also what I recommend to our clients that we work with. When our clients come to us and they tell us, hey, let's build a YouTube channel, in 80% of the cases, we say, yeah, okay, let's build a YouTube channel. But also what we need to do is we need to help them with their whole sales and flow, because people have never heard about lead magnets. They have no idea about this retention layer that they need to introduce. And so we end up doing a lot more for them than just building a YouTube channel. That's it. Bye.